if you aren't the embodiment of what people think they want, they won't necessarily come to you for what they need.
Okay, stop for a second and say why. Why am I doing this right now? Why does it have to be in this moment? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. We did a live Meetup Monday with the one and only Nick Cavuto. If you are an early entrepreneur, it's a great episode for you to listen to. Today, for episode number 564, where do you get your sense of importance? So, I will pre-frame this as this is going to be an explorative episode from Alan and myself, but this is kind of my intention, and this is where I want to go with it. I did a TikTok video recently. Well, not recently. It was actually a couple months ago when I first got onto TikTok. And the point of this video basically was this. I held up my phone and I said, what do I think people need to know about social media? And I said, before you post that picture of your cleavage, all I want you to do is ask yourself why you're doing it, right? Is that the way that you're getting your importance? Are you getting your significance from showing off your body? If you are, more power to you. Again, I used to be a bodybuilder, and I could pull up hundreds of pictures, quite literally, of me in, with no shirt on or in the gym or flexing.
Jacked.
I appreciate that. I did that for significance. But I knew that. Like, I knew, okay, and it didn't necessarily stop me from doing it. I know that I'm posting this ab picture so I can get love for my body. Whether that's right or wrong, that's not what this episode is about. But it's about awareness, right? If you are constantly posting pictures, and again, I don't want this, everything I say in this episode is with empathy. Mm-hmm. But I don't think TikTok would be a platform if there weren't tons of people looking to use their bodies to get significance. Some people use their bodies to make a living, like models and fitness influencers, people like that.
For sure.
But the takeaway from me is, are you aware of why you're doing what you're doing? I think that's so important. I think awareness is so important.
It's everything. So when I was in my fitness modeling days.
Oh, I remember those days.
Right. Did 41 photo shoots. 41. It was a lot of photo shoots. But I remember I was branding myself as a fitness coach and a model. And I was modeling my career a little bit back then after Greg Plitt, one of my heroes. And he was super motivating, super inspiring, and he really helped me get my life together in a lot of ways, his work, And so I was really trying to figure out where I fit in this world and in the personal development world. And I noticed that the fitness industry and the personal development industry didn't have a whole ton of crossover. And I was trying to kind of merge them. And I realized in hindsight why that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it can't be, because I think there's a little bit of crossover. But here's what I would say. I used to post a lot of photos that were of my body because I was promoting fitness coaching. And if you aren't the embodiment of what people think they want, they won't necessarily come to you for what they need. And so I think that a lot of it is that, but a lot of it is not conscious. That was a conscious choice. Like, I'm posting these fitness photos. And I'll actually just tell this vulnerable story quickly. So I was also trying to be a speaker. And this was early in my journey. And there was a middle school principal, who found me in the gym. And we talked. And she's like, wow, I'd really love for you to come and talk to my middle school. It was going to be an assembly. I even went and visited the middle school. It was a lower class middle school. And it was amazing because I toured the whole school and I saw the kids. And I was so excited, and she brought me into the room where we were going to have the assembly, and it was going to be like 450 students. She went to her board of advisors, and they found a photo of me online that they disliked, they thought was distasteful, and it was basically me posing in the mirror with a toilet in the background. And it was just a shirtless photo, but I think I might have been in a towel, or maybe I had boxers on or something like that. It was a progress picture.
Yeah. I remember those.
Right, exactly. And I lost that opportunity to go impact all of those kids and what she told me, and I asked for brutal feedback, and she said, it's not the fact that you're a model or into fitness, it's the fact that it was in a bathroom with a toilet. And it's just not a tasteful way to do modeling from my perspective. You do you, but like we can't associate that with our middle school. And honestly, that's what you do. You try things and you learn. And honestly, in hindsight, good for her for giving me that feedback, because I wouldn't have hired me either. You know what I mean? You do have to be conscious of, was I a bad person for posting that photo? No. But was I branding myself ineffectively at the time? Yes. And so I'm with Kevin 1,000% on this. Why are you doing what you're doing? And is it, once you're aware of why you're doing what you're doing, is that in alignment or not?
It's interesting. The thing that was jumping to my mind when you were talking about that is, dude, you know how many of my bodybuilding friends have seen me almost naked? You know how many like pictures of me in the posing trunks there are on the internet?
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it's weird. It's just different. We were in a different time. We were in a different.
I know.
My coach Justin literally would see me almost as close to naked as you can get.
Right.
He helped me tan. He literally helped me do the tanning, which is basically like you oiling up from head to toe. So
Right.
it's like in that circle, that's totally normal.
It's totally normal.
But
yeah.
to somebody else, it's not. So that's just an interesting
tangent. You've gone to spray tan right before a show.
I didn't. No, I did self tan.
Oh, okay. So basically, if you have ever done a bodybuilding show, you can go get it done, or you can do it yourself, and you're in these little like cocoons, for lack of better phrasing, next to one another, and you're completely naked.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting because you gotta, for at least bodybuilders, their posing trunks are very skimpy.
It's brutal.
Yeah, and it is weird to go back and think of that.
Right.
But just, I think what we want to talk about on this episode is, where are you getting your sense of importance? I would argue that when I look back, it wasn't long ago that I'm really close with my girlfriend's family. And it wasn't long ago that I noticed that Emilia's mom had liked a photo that Emilia and I were in. And I was like, oh, I'm not friends with her on Facebook. And I added her on Facebook. And then I immediately got kind of freaked out. Because I'm like, well, what if she goes back and sees all those other photos? What are the implications of that? And so what I did is I went back through all my timeline and I looked and I was like, it was a lot of perspective. Because in hindsight, at the time, I thought that all those fitness photos were just for branding, just to help people, just to inspire. And in hindsight, not all of it was that. Some of it was my ego. Some of it was. And so I think that it's important to reflect in advance and go, why am I doing what I'm doing? And, whether it's cleavage photo or whether it's, fitness or whether it's whatever it is, if you don't check in on why you're doing what you're doing, here's what I would say. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you're on autopilot. And autopilot will never take you anywhere great.
Mm. And we're all guilty. I don't even want to say guilty. We all practice this.
Right.
If you've ever heard Alan and I say we gave a speech to 400 people, the reason we're saying 400 people is because it makes us feel important. That's one of the reasons we say it.
Right.
For me, at least. Maybe not you as much. But it's like...
No, I think it's true, yeah.
Right? And it's like, okay, we have 350 or 341,000 downloads. Like, that makes us feel important.
Mm.
So I just think you have to be cautious of it. I think it's important. And I have nothing against it. If you're watching this thinking like, oh, you guys are talking about, something I do, like, no, if you do it to create more impact or profitability or whatever, and that's why you're doing it, sure. I'm convinced of this. One of the reasons that there's these viral dance videos is because that people see other people getting significance from it and they want it.
They want it too.
I think that's why virality is a thing.
Same.
For a lot of it. Not all of
is.
it. But it makes me wonder, like, there's a lot of, again, TikTok. There's a reason I wasn't on TikTok for a long time. I don't like the culture. I don't like what it's about.
Right.
And that's what a lot of it is about. And
I'm
it's
still
just,
not on it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But I do know that there's, shout out to Gary Vee, one of the best organic reaches there are right now in the app world. So
I think what is a powerful case study for this.
Let's hear it.
So again, this episode is, where are you getting your sense of importance? I have a dear friend of mine who had a really strong social media following, and she spent like a lot of time on social media. She was in a relationship that, I wouldn't call it long distance, but they weren't spending a lot of time together. Like, I think they spent probably like 2 or 3 days a month together. And this person craved a lot of external validation and was meeting her needs for significance and love through social media quite a bit. And I knew that. I was coaching this person. And that's fine, whatever. Like but it was definitely an externally motivating thing. And I get it, right? When you're lonely, of course you spend more time on social media. I have to, right?
Same.
So this person that she loved and still loves to some extent now was on social media. And that was one of the primary ways they would communicate. And this person would literally, have you ever looked to see who's watching your stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Like your story?
Yeah, I always look.
You do?
Yeah.
I literally never do anymore, but I used to. And I remember being in this situation with one of my ex-girlfriends where I would look and see if she watched my story. And when she did, I would purposely post so she'd see it. You know what I mean? That is what is bad. I don't want to say bad, it's controlling you. So imagine this. One person posts on social media because it is to inspire, motivate, and educate other individuals about their business, about their services, about their life. It's for a positive reason. The other person is posting on social media to make sure their ex sees it. See, those are two very different motivators. Maybe it's the same action, but the intention matters. Intention matters. So for this person, when she was really lonely and craving love and not being treated very well in this relationship, she was on social media way more. You know, what's interesting is that she was winning on social media way more because she was on it. But the thing is now she's in love, and now she's in a much more loving, positive relationship where she doesn't crave. She basically is getting her sense of importance somewhere else. Guess what? Now she has an aversion to social media. She doesn't even want to be on it. She doesn't even think it's a good use of her time anymore. The only thing that shifted is you used to get love, or at least a sense of importance and love from social media. Now you're getting it somewhere more savory, more fulfilling. But here's the problem. Your social media game has gone down and your business has been hurt from that. So it's almost like you have to understand what motivates you to such a deep extent. It's like just because something externally drives you doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. But I will tell you it is controlling you if you're not at least aware of it.
Yeah, and I think it's like if you're looking at the number of likes you're getting or views you're getting, I think you can either do it for how many people have seen what I'm doing,
right,
or how many people am I helping.
Right.
I look at my story because I want to know how things are resonating with people, and like whether my numbers are up, my numbers are down because of the content,
and to grow the show, grow the business.
That's the main thing. Like I'm not going through saying like, oh, this specific person looked. If I do, one of the reasons is because I want to know from the next level family who is. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of, again, we've gone through my DMs. Like I have a lot of people that I talk to consistently. I want to know if they're watching so I can reach out and say, hey, I hope you're well. Or
literally. Or group coaching or whatever.
Yeah. So I think it's important. I think that the breakthrough for me is the fact that if you're unconsciously doing it, I think it's way easier to regret it later. I think it's like if somebody came to me, and I think maybe this is different. If somebody came to me and said, "Kev, we went back and looked at your old photos, and you're not going to get this opportunity because of it," I think I'm probably okay with it. That's who I was. Like that's who I was.
Yeah.
And was I looking to get?
They were looking at my current.
I know.
I
know.
Okay, just so you know.
Yeah.
Then I had to shift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was I looking? Like, yeah, when I was a bodybuilder, none of this was a thing. I wasn't a speaker. No, this was not in the plan.
They're not going to see you on a bodybuilding stage and go, oh, you can't speak here
Right,
now. Yeah.
right.
And if they do,
but
too
yeah,
bad.
but they could.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I consciously knew back then, to some degree, that the reason I'm posting this is to get importance. I did. I knew that. But I also knew that I was inspiring people because I got a lot of nice messages.
Right.
And that was the other thing, too. It's like, I don't regret looking back that I posted those things. Number one, because I'm very proud of myself for where I got in my bodybuilding journey. Right? That's one thing. Number two, I know I inspired people and connected with people that I may never have before.
Right.
And number three, I was conscious enough to know why I was doing it to a degree. Right. And I think now it's like, I very rarely post gym pictures.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I. But if I do, it's usually on my story. It's not really for significance. I want to motivate people. I want people to say like, Kevin's getting after it today.
How do you know the difference?
I think you just do.
I think you do too.
It's the why. It's the when you have the inkling like, I'm going to do this, then, okay, stop for a second and say why. Why am I doing this right now? Why does it have to be in this moment?
Right.
And then this is the other thing. What's the result you're looking to get?
Right.
Are you looking to get a bunch of people reaching out saying like, oh, Kev, you're so jacked? I can genuinely promise you I'm not. Like if you look at my story and I'm flexing, it's not because I want you to reach out and say, hey, you're in such good shape. Like that's not why I'm doing it.
Was it ever that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I think that contrast. It's interesting because, so I'll look at my IGTV videos, and some of them will get hundreds of views, others will get under 100. It used to kind of bother me. It kind of doesn't anymore. It's almost like I don't know if I'm desensitized or I care to the extent that I'm improving. I try hard not to. This comes down to self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-respect. It all comes down to chasing external validation versus internal. I feel like at this point in my life, I feel like I chase external validation less than I ever have. And I think it's because I have so much internal validation. We all chase external validation to an extent. We all want to feel a sense of importance. And by the way, it's really easy for someone who feels important to say, don't worry about importance, right? You know? It's like those people who are super, super wealthy who are like, oh, don't worry so much about money. It's like, well, you don't remember what it's like to not be able to afford this meal, and so I don't want to be naive enough to sit here and think like wanting and craving a sense of importance. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's human nature, but I think it's really important to stay on top of it and to really be hyper conscious of how much it's controlling you.
And does it fulfill you? That's
Right.
the other thing too. We have minimum of 5 opportunities a week to feel important. Every time we record an episode, we feel important.
Yeah.
We feel significant. We feel valued. So it's more, for me at least, it's in alignment with like, I love speaking. I love podcasting.
Right.
I love when we get messages from people. That's amazing, right? That's all in alignment.
Right.
I do feel important. I do feel important when I say we have, we don't have fans, we have family. That makes me feel important.
Right.
Probably just as, if not more important than it makes our family feel, because that's attached to us.
Right.
The listens, like, yeah, I feel important. And the messages, they make me feel important. But the thing is, I am doing it for the impact.
Right.
It's this weird thing.
I know. You know what it is? It's interesting. It's like everyone's going to find a way to feel important. Okay? If you're a human being, you're going to find a way to feel important. Is it a healthy way for you and others? Or is it a negative way? I think that's the main takeaway is like, because remember, the way you used to get your sense of importance of posting pictures of you being jacked, like that was probably not that fulfilling.
Probably not.
I think that's the question I would have all the listeners ask themselves. Instead of chasing external validation for significance and for a sense of importance, what if you instead shifted, I'm going to put fulfillment above those? Because I guarantee you this person that I spoke about earlier, they're getting love, real sense of importance in a fulfilling, loving relationship, whereas before, it's almost like scarcity versus abundance. Before, she was posting to hope that someone might see it and then double checking and triple checking to make sure that person's seen it. And I'm not judging, I've been there. Versus now, it's an abundance, overflowing, fulfilling, positive thing. And now she doesn't really care. I've seen her post stuff that gets 15 likes, and she used to get thousands, and she doesn't care anymore. Why? Because she's not doing it for that needy reason anymore. And good for her, honestly.
It's almost like, is the thing you're getting, and we got to go here in a minute, but is the thing that you're getting significance and importance from the thing that you want to be known for and the thing that you want to make your thing? Like, does it actually make you happy to do it?
Right.
I think that's the other thing, too. There's a lot of people who have made careers out of being very attractive and doing things on social media.
But that doesn't mean they're fulfilled.
No.
Right.
But if they are, more power to them.
Exactly.
More power to them. That's the thing, the takeaway. I don't want you to think I'm hating.
Right.
Because I'm not. But one of the reasons we say this is because I know a lot of people that are on the outside.
Right.
They look very, very happy. They're unbelievably attractive people, but I know they're not happy because they've told me.
I've seen that so many times, Kev.
I think it's they're just people,
I know.
and everybody has their junk.
And everybody thought those people are 10s. Even the person I was referencing, it's like these are gorgeous human beings that from the outside looking in appear unbelievably happy. I promise you there's more than meets the eye. And if they appear happy, this is the last thing I'll say. If someone appears happy on the outside, it does not necessarily mean they are fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I think that fulfillment trumps everything.
And only you know.
And only you know.
Only you know why. Why am I posting this? Why am I saying this? Why am I going here? Why am I acting this way? Why? At the end of the day, awareness is
Everything.
hyperconsciousness. Hyperconsciousness.
It's everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want Alan, Jeff, and Jeff,
Jeff and Jeff.
Jeff 1 and Jeff 2,
Jeff squared.
Alan, Jeff squared, Alan and I to come speak to your school, your company, your corporation. Maybe you are a coach and you have a group of people. The first speech is free. It's virtual because obviously of COVID right now. But we will send out a custom questionnaire to whoever it is we're speaking to, and we will formulate our presentation based on that. No two presentations are ever the same. That's the beauty of it.
True.
And we also take questions throughout. So anything that you or the people that we're speaking to are going through, we can hammer through those questions.
One speech can change your life. Please invite us. You ever, what is it, cruising the world? Cruising the world.
I'm going to have to...
Virtual speeches. We're going
I'm
global.
going to have to Google this.
We're going global.
Yes.
It was a video game like N64.
We already are global, so...
True.
I don't know if you've heard this or not, but 90-plus countries
90 plus.
we've been heard in. So.
Which could be upwards of 91.
Could be.
No, but seriously, okay, so group coaching, there's two groups. Group 1 got grandfathered in or grandmothered in with 10 people at $75 per month price point. These are 90-day boot camps. Imagine an entire life makeover, life transformation in 90 days. We just opened group 2 as of last week, and it's $97 per month. And it will be going up as soon as that fills up with 10 people. We're doing groups of 10 because we want to keep it intimate and we want to make sure we can add as much value as possible. These are bi-weekly calls with Kevin and myself, and they're going to be broken into thirds. The first third is getting to know where you've been. The second third is where are you headed. The third is helping you make the shifts necessary to get there. And so I'm super pumped about this. Please reach out to Kevin, myself, anyone on the team. We are more excited about group coaching than anything else right now, and this initiative is going to be a game changer.
Yes, everybody we asked. So in the first group, we asked all 10 people on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you? And everybody said at least 10.
Yeah.
Some people said 15, 20. That's what we're looking for. We really want to help people who really want to get to the next level. Results. People have said that we are heart-driven, but no BS.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the way to win. And I do think it's the way to help people. So that is what we're aiming for, and we would love to have you join group number 2. That will sell out quickly.
For sure.
Just like the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we hope you enjoyed this. Up next, we have an episode, 1 major reason your past creates pain. We are going to go super deep, as we always do. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you will enjoy that. And as always, we do not have fans. 0 fans. We don't have any fans. 0.
No, none.
Negative fans, maybe. But we do have family, and we love you. We'll talk to you on the next one.
Talk to you soon.